Welcome back. An additional 5 pages of classified material uncovered at President Biden's Delaware home. For more on the possible legal fallout of this discovery, we're joined by former acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker. Matt, thanks for joining us.
Hey, good to be with you.
So first question I have, we've heard the White House repeatedly say the placement of these documents would be inadvertent, a mistake, and that Joe Biden takes classified information handling very seriously. If it was inadvertent, does that matter legally?
Well, it doesn't. Obviously, the statute is very clear that it's a gross negligence or reckless standard, but you do look to what qualifies under those intent like characteristics. And if there was one location and he says he takes it very seriously, then maybe that was inadvertent. But now we have at least 3 locations.
20 pages.
Where 20 pages have been found of classified, clearly marked documents. And, if he takes it seriously, then he knew what those markings meant. And to have them in his library in his home, in addition to his garage, I think, suggests that maybe it wasn't inadvertent.
And how can it be inadvertent? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't these classified documents all essentially have red markings or these red cover sheets? It'd be pretty difficult to look at it and not realize, maybe I shouldn't have this sitting next to my, my car, right?
And to your point, if you remember the famous picture of what they found at Mar-a-Lago, I mean, that's what they look like. They have these very obvious red kind of or yellow, and some of them have sort of more loud covers on them that say this is an important document. It's not something you would just have in your papers.
The White House, Karine Jean-Pierre, said repeatedly on Thursday during the press conference, the search is over, the search is over, the search is over. We've given everything over to DOJ. Yes, you can assume we're done. Then we find out yesterday, 5 more pages found. Do you see there's some sort of a disconnect here between maybe what the White House press shop is saying and hearing and what the White House lawyers are doing?
Well, I'm hoping that she went to the people that gave her that information and was not very happy about being put in front of the American people and not telling the truth, unless she knew the truth and was trying to hide that, and that's even more concerning. So either way, it does not look good on the White House. And remember, this White House promised us they would be the most transparent, open administration in American history, and we're seeing exactly the opposite.
The first batch of documents was found here in D.C. well over 2 months ago, early November. We only found out about it this week. It went public because of this CBS report. Do you think we would have ever found out if not for that CBS report?
I don't think that. If you look at all the steps along the way, Department of Justice knew. They still appointed a special counsel. They learned about, each step. It appeared that they did not expect that this news was going to ever see the light of day. And so they could continue with, the Trump case, but without fear that this Biden behavior would ever be discovered. And then CBS, through good reporting, released it, and it appears that the White House continues to try to catch up to the story as these continuing revelations happen.
Now, realistically speaking here, is the president looking at significant legal exposure, or is this just going to be more of a political headache and a bad PR problem? Because, I mean, it started off as one batch, then it was another, in the garage. Now we've got a third batch. If this drip, drip, drip keeps continuing and there's more documents, realistically, what kind of a problem is he going to be looking at?
Well, I think there's a twofold. Obviously, it's a major political issue, and it also undercuts any hope that Donald Trump is going to be prosecuted for what they found at Mar-a-Lago. But that being said, you can't indict a sitting president, and so you're going to have to wait till he gets out of office. And I just don't think, based on what we heard in the Hillary Clinton case, that this ultimately is a legal jeopardy for Joe Biden, but we don't know enough about the case, and it depends what the actual contents of those documents are, because that's going to obviously drive the intent question.
And still pretty wild to think we now have a former president and a current sitting president, both under special counsel investigation for alleged mishandling of these classifying documents. The story keeps changing by the day. We'll see where it takes us next. Former Acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker, thanks so much for joining us today.
Good to be with you.
Appreciate it. Jillian?
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.